Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. In this video, I want to go over Face ID and why you can't add multiple users. So this is something that I thought of pretty much right when I got my iPhone 10. I was like, I wonder if anyone else can program their face into my phone so that they can unlock it. And with Touch ID, you actually could do that because you could have like 5 fingerprints loaded in. And apparently Apple actually didn't want people doing that. Now, a lot of people would program, their girlfriend or boyfriend's fingerprint into their phone so they could unlock it and stuff like that. Super convenient, and actually that was actually a pretty cool feature of Touch ID. I like that as well. However, with Face ID, it's not quite the same, and you can't do that. So someone actually emailed Craig Federighi from Apple and got a response from him. So this guy says basically, he used Touch ID with his wife, and they both would unlock each other's phones with Touch ID, and they would have really complex passwords, but it didn't really matter since they had Touch ID. And now with the iPhone 10, if they're like driving together, and he's driving and his wife needs to get into his phone, obviously she can't, and it's a really long password because he wants it to be secure, and he just wants it to scan her face and unlock his phone. And it makes perfect sense. It just makes sense to have maybe possibly multiple users to log in. However, I think there are a lot more issues with this than with fingerprints. So for example, every fingerprint on your hand is going to be different. And so Apple knew that going into it, and they could have 5 different sets to scan for. With Face ID, there's a lot more going on. Like, it has to scan your face with 30,000 dots, and it has to process that image and compare it and make sure that it's you. And to do that for 2 different people, imagine if you had 5 different people in there and it had to scan and run that through, 5 different times. Now, I understand that the scan that it tests against is just a salted hash, basically just a string of numbers and letters, and so that doesn't take too much time to go through, but adding different people could be a bigger problem for Apple with Face ID, just because there's so much more to it than just a fingerprint. Now in the future, I do think they could probably do it, but as you can see right here, you can see Craig's response. Currently, we're focusing Face ID on single user authentication. So right there, boom, 1. Even Touch ID's multi-finger support was really intended to enable a single iPhone owner to unlock the device with a finger and thumb on both hands, not to enable multi-user authentication. We'll certainly keep your feedback in mind as we consider our plans to revolve Face ID in the future. Thanks, Craig. And yes, he usually spells his name with a lowercase c and a space between the hyphens, so this looks fairly legit, and it was reported on, so there's really hardly any reason to think that it's fake, and it makes sense. So Apple wants it to be just 1 person per Face ID. So I guess it makes sense for now, but I think hopefully in the future, as the technology progresses a little and it can get faster and better, you can maybe add other faces in. That would be kind of cool. But I think also, because this kind of has to learn your face and stuff, that would be kind of tough with, multiple users and stuff. Now, another thing I want to go over here is that iPhone 10 models with the Qualcomm modem actually have faster LTE speeds than those with Intel modems. And there's a whole beef going on with Qualcomm. They're trying to block any Intel modem iPhones from coming into the United States. Crazy, I know. And they really just want money out of this from Apple. They're basically trying to block the AT&T and T-Mobile variants. So in case you didn't know, there's 2 different iPhone models that are actually released, the A1865 and the A1901. And this is the better one, the A1865. They found that it actually has faster speeds in worse conditions. So that's a good thing. And yeah, so that one's got all chips. So it's basically an unlocked phone. You basically just have to buy the Verizon version or Sprint. I know Verizon works because that's what I've got. And the other one, the A1901, only works with GSM like AT&T and T-Mobile, so you can't put that phone on Sprint and Verizon. I don't fully understand why Apple decided to split these up. I guess because they're cheap, but the Verizon and Sprint model is better. So I think the Verizon one's the best because Sprint might lock you in. I'm not entirely sure on that, but Verizon one definitely is pretty much unlocked. And as you can see in many other countries, and in the US soon enough, Apple sells an unlocked, SIM-free A1865 model. So that's all you need to know about that pretty much. The Qualcomm one is marginally better, and Qualcomm does not want the other phones in the country, but that's never going to happen. They just want Apple to pay up. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Definitely drop a comment down below on what you think about Face ID only having one user, and also about what you think about the iPhones having two different chips for the LTE connectivity. I think if Qualcomm actually makes one with all four, I don't know why they didn't just put that in all of the models. But again, I think Apple's just being cheap. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked it, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.